All right, what's up, good people? It's your boys, the Beards of War, back again. You got myself, Thick Nick Fury, aka the Chocolate Avenger. You got FBR for President, Fat Broken Rambo, aka the Digital Media Demigod. Got the Arson Assassin, Scorched Earth in the middle, and we got the conductor, Chaos Cap Jack behind the scenes. All right, man. This one is Wrecking Crew. All right, currently playing on Amazon Prime. We are gonna run a spectrum on this one because I can tell you right now, I enjoyed this movie. This is starring Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, Morena Baccarin, which is my like Salma Hayek, low fat. Um, and this movie is it's an action comedy. It is what it is, right? You got to accept certain things. You got to give certain things up. It's campy, but it was fun. For me, it's a fun movie. So who wants to start us off? Go ahead, guys. Go in.
Yeah. All right. You know what? So I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna well, starting off, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna start off with the good points of the movie, right? Because there were some, in my opinion, some good points, and I had to cheat, write them down on a nice little sticky. See
Well,
right
let's tell
here.
them what the movie's about first. So I don't know.
Uh,
Who wants to?
it's
Well, I mean, we got to set them up, right? We got to
two
set people up.
brothers, right?
Spoilers
So
ahead. Okay.
so Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, half brothers rather. Um, their dad, they got the same dad. Dad cheated on a mom, had another kid. They grew up kind of hating each other, animosity there. Uh, what's his name? Jason Momoa, his character, the mother died or
Right.
was killed, and he was in the States. He grew up, became a cop. He was always trying to figure out who killed his mom. uh, Dave Batista, however, was a commander in the U.S. Navy, a SEAL that walked around in uniform everywhere and never went on a base in the movie. But I digress just a little. And they just had animosity, never really spoke. So the dad was killed in a hit and run accident, or so it would seem. But it turns out that he was actually assassinated because he started to find out that some people that are in leadership roles on the island were working with a contractor to bring gambling to the island because it was illegal and on the island and put it in some of that like ancient grounds that the Hawaiians, spend time on. They're kept holy, and essentially this turns into bringing yakuza in. I don't know how the yakuza got into it, but the yakuza come in as kind of the muscle to muscle out some of the gangs and enforce stuff on the island that are already a part of the Hawaiian island and the culture, or as it would be in the movie. So Momoa's character comes back for the funeral because he kind of felt guilty and wanted to reconnect. Two, Dave Bautista's wife, who'd never talked to Momoa's character, called him after I want to say it's been 10 years since they both talked, and kind of convinced him to come back. So he came back, and lo and behold, all the trouble began, and they tried to figure out, all right, who killed the dad. It ended up being, well, I'll save that for later, but somebody that was a lot closer than you would think. I will say they did a good job in making you kind of look in different directions on who the actual villain was. But Momoa was a cop that wasn't really doing good on the reservation back in the States. Not sure what reservation, but it was in what,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? Yeah,
Yeah.
Oklahoma. And yeah, again, Dave Bautista's character was a SEAL that I think he was on base like one time in a pool floating. I don't know how that works out, and walking around in uniform all the time, causing chaos, and never got UCMJ. I don't know how that worked, but and it all took place on the Hawaiian Islands, of course. And I'll pass that buck over to you, FBR.
Oh, yeah, I hated this movie.
Yeah,
Fucking hated it. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's nothing redeeming about this movie whatsoever to me. I will tell you that I lost interest after the opening fight scene with Jason Momoa and the Yakuza in his apartment or his trailer, whatever it was. That was decently funny, but like the Jason Momoa shtick got old really fucking fast. Especially when like this movie can't decide what tone it wants. Like I understand that if you go back to like Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, like there's some good humor between the two of them because
yeah,
Danny Glover is like this straight and narrow kind of guy, and Mel Gibson's this like off his rocker nut job, and that chaos kind of like brings them together, so to speak. And then it got really dark at the end when Gary Busey kidnaps the family, blah 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 blah. All right. I didn't give a shit one way or the other. I just wanted this movie to end. I thought the fucking CGI was garbage. You're telling me you
Oh,
can't film on site with fucking in Hawaii? Like that's how cheap you are? Mm, never mind. I'm gonna talk about different shit that Amazon has wasted money on different in another video maybe. But those guys throw money at nothing, at everything, dude. Like the CGI was just fucking terrible. Why am I looking at a green screen of Hawaii? You guys can't go film in fucking Hawaii? Like
I
seriously?
think they no, I think they did at
Dude,
some
every
point.
scene that is at that house is a fucking backdrop is CGI, man. 100%.
I don't
The,
know. I'm
the,
gonna have to
the
look
most
at
expensive
because
shit that they used in this entire movie was the salaries of these two guys. And honestly, they deserve better. I
I
like
will
Dave
say,
Bautista. I thought he was rock solid in everything that's not this movie.
yeah, I think there were a couple shots. I'll have to look that one up. That's a hey, you guys out in the chat, if you can look and see if any of it was shot on scene. So I will say the intro was the worst CGI that I've ever seen. It looked like the HBO back in the day when HBO was coming on, flying into town. You see this there all you see is this little blue van driving through. I'm like,
Dude,
dude, that's
that
horrible.
if you
But then
actually
later
stop
it
that
looked
scene, you'll actually see you if you watch the scene, just at
yeah,
the intro from the credits, you'll see that the little CGI fucking figurines around them don't
the
move in the
people.
slightest bit. That just goofy little fucking micro machine tails the credits around. It's infuriatingly bad. It
I'll,
it
Okay.
it,
All
it
right.
really is. Like
All right, guys.
everything, dude.
Well,
He's
hold
got a
on.
pot collar for the entire movie.
Okay.
I got some positive though. Hold on. Let me hit these. Well, so I will say, CGI or not, the island looked correct. I'll give him that. Like it looked like Hawaii. I think there were definitely some legitimate on scene, in Hawaii shots. The beach. It looked like a Hawaiian beach. It could have been fake. It could have been somewhere else. Hawaiian people, from my experience, are genuinely nice. So they seem pretty nice in there. Like again, these are the positives that I'm hitting here, and there were some nice ones in there. There were some
Uh-oh.
nice bikes. I will say the old bike. Was that an Indian? That looked like it was an Indian. I didn't get a close up of. So nice bikes. Let's see, and that's all I got on the positive. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Rambo, man, you look like you got something you got to get out, man. What's up, bro?
Dude, the movie was too fucking long. Nobody cared. The villains were shallow. Oh, and Boba Fett being the fucking villain? Like, who saw that shit coming? Because he's the only member of the
Oh,
cast,
that's
minus the
right.
lead two, that have any resemblance across Hollywood. Be like, I wonder who the fucking bad guy is in all this. Of course it's Boba Fett. No shit.
Okay. All right, people. This is what happens when you become a salty older veteran, right? We have officially become our fathers, and we're starting to pick apart action movies, but we forget
Mm,
when we were younger in the 80s
mm,
watching, like, I don't
mm.
know, Tango and Cash. Oh wow, yeah, let's break
Better.
out of a prison using
Dude,
our belts as a zip line because who
I
can put that
tried.
over a
I
prison?
tried to adapt that
Okay.
mentality.
I
I
know,
tried.
and I get it, and it is a lot of cheesy CGI. The whole scene on the bridge or on the roadway with the helicopter,
That
it was
bulletproof
just over the
minivan?
top, right? Over the top. I will give you that. However, what wasn't lost on me was the interaction
Oh,
between Johnny and James, right? So,
hey, there's an
uh,
answer. Hold on, real quick. There's an answer on the question about was it shot on site or not.
they did film
Uh-huh.
most of the movie in Hawaii. Okay,
Yeah, I was like, because I saw some familiar looking place. I'm like, that looks real.
I'm
So
not saying they didn't use stock footage or anything like that. I'm just saying the majority of that film was all fucking green screen.
and you don't want to ruin the island. I mean, I'm pretty sure that might have a lot of red tape. But anyway,
Mm.
I digress. So like I said, I do like the storyline. It was a believable relationship for me between Johnny and James and their conflict, and I think they both kind of acted well with that. As you were saying with like Johnny, Jason Momoa's character, yeah, the whole drinking thing, like, dude, we get it. Like, you're an alcoholic, you're like a badass, whatever. Like, but we don't have to have you drinking a beer in every single scene. But it was to kind of get across the differences, and Dave Bautista being more straight laced, more by the book, more methodical, and their conflict throughout, and them kind of softening up to each other. I enjoyed that. I did. I did enjoy Jason Momoa's like one liner quips. I thought they were funny. Like he's sitting there and when they're in like Bad Boys when they're with the police commissioner, and he's on a paid leave from the police force because of some investigation. He's like, I'm getting paid. Like it was like little things like that. I just thought was funny.
You didn't find it
Marina.
to be like overstayed its welcome though. Like I felt after a certain point, like Jason Momoa was still acting like this cavalier kind of character.
Yeah.
Right, and I think they, like I said, and I do agree with that. Like I think at some point it's a little bit overstated. Like, okay, we get it. You're aloof. You know, this is the straight laced guy. You're the like loose cannon, so to speak.
Oh,
Right.
and if I may, like just to not necessarily to prove my point, but just to give you a little bit more direction from where I'm coming from. Like I look at Lethal Weapon, right? As like between Lethal Weapon and 48 Hours, I would argue those are probably the two original like buddy cop kind of movies, right? But in Lethal Weapon, there's a trigger where Riggs stops being a psychopath or like the comedic nut job that he is, like jumping off of buildings with the attempted unalive, whatever the fuck YouTube wants me to say. Um, in that scenario, like, right, he's kind of like this off the wall, goofy fuck. You don't know if he's nuts or not. But at the end, when Murtaugh's daughter gets taken, he's like, hey, man, I'm really fucking good. Like, back in Nam, I could do a guy at fucking like, he goes to a really dark place, like, really fast. And it works because he cuts ties with, like, this bravado bullshit that he's got going on for the entire movie. And he's like, hey, man, when push comes to shove, I'm there for my partner. I never felt that transition. And this movie got decently dark towards the end of the film where I'm like, your actions don't support the tone that this movie is going for. And I kind of felt it fell apart for me because of that.
Right. Now, and I will say this, when they came and took Batista's wife and the kids were in the bathroom, Johnny did switch. He was like, "Okay, man, no, we have to go." Like he kind of knew the severity of the situation, and he really struggled throughout the whole thing, right? Because he's literally hadn't resolved any of the issues from when his mother was killed. So,
Sure.
however he dealt with it was how he dealt with it. But the fact that they were, like with James kind of admitting like, hey, man, I was a horrible brother. You know what I mean? Like they did have that kind of coming together moment. And at the end, you did see where he kind of let it go, right? He's like, okay, here's the man that killed who killed your mother, which was played by Branscombe Richmond. I know people don't know the name, but that dude's been around forever. Stuntman, action, been in everything. Looks Hawaiian, but he's from like Los Angeles or something like that. But yeah, like you kind of saw that kind of growth between the two of them. Like I said, I enjoy the campiness of it, and I get it. You can't take it too seriously. It is what it is. But it's like just about any '80s movies you watch. Like when you see the goons come out, like I talked about in The Dark Man, guys just have brass knuckles and nunchucks. Like where'd you get nunchuck? Like this is kind of what we grew up on, and it's just now we're looking at it through older eyes, so we're picking apart like every little thing. It's like okay, oh that's cheesy,
All
oh that's
right.
not real, that's dumb. It was always
Yeah.
dumb. Like most of them are
Yeah.
always like if you look at an action comedy, it's always kind of goofy or dumb or that's not gonna happen or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'll say
they
that.
could have made
Okay.
it
Yeah.
better, I think. And even
Well,
though we
yeah, I
are
mean, it
older,
could always be better, but I
but
wouldn't call it horrible.
dude,
You know,
I thought it was trash as well. But dude, and this is my same gripe, right? So whether it's this or any of the other ones, it doesn't really matter. Um, when you're shooting at vehicles, none of the bullets go through. Those guys are 5 feet away from Yakuza with Uzis and other kind of automatic weapons shooting at the driver's side of the vehicle. They don't get hit once, not once.
dude,
No,
we can't start pulling that thread this
no,
late in the
we're
game for
no, no,
action movies
no. We're not.
and not
We're
being able
not.
to hit the broadside of a
No,
barn.
no, no. So we'll back that up then. So we're not starting that late. I've been saying that since I think the channel's
John Wick 4.
existent. I like every time one of those things come up, I say the same thing. So it's
We
not
know.
late in the game. Well, no, I mean he's saying we're pulling this thread, starting it now. No, we've been doing that for a while. At least I have, and
It's
that's just
action,
garbage.
bro. It's
You gotta
unrealistic.
do better. You just got to do better, man. And then he's a SEAL, right? Quote unquote a SEAL commander. So in leadership, I guess in the movie, he's on base in the pool at looks like Navy boot camp, teaching guys, trying to prep them for buds. That's it. He never goes back to base. He stays in uniform, at least 50% of the
With a
movie.
pop collar.
Yeah, the collar thing was
That
driving
part.
me nuts, and he's going everywhere,
Without his
causing
cover.
chaos, causing chaos, and he never gets in trouble. Like the cops get him, but the base doesn't come and get him.
And he
Now,
didn't
I
shave
get it.
either, I don't think.
It's because
No,
the
but you
Chiefs didn't
can
care, man.
you can
Right,
have
yeah.
you can have some beer, but again,
Oh.
like they could have had at least maybe had like his commanding officer chew him kind of a thing, right? But bring some of that into it. They didn't have any of that. They even brought up Momoa's character's boss at least, right? When he called back to the States, they're like, yeah, you're a cop. and you're on suspension. He called his squad. Okay, they connected him to his squad. They didn't connect, Batista's character to any of that. He's just silent. I'm gonna go around. All right, I'm the bear. Like, really? And then both of those guys hitting that house. That was a travesty of justice. It was insane. It was horrible, and they kill everybody like it's nobody's business. And the end, right? And then don't get me started on the frag. So a grenade on a fuel source, right? And Momoa just gets blown back into the water. No shrapnel, no nothing. I would say he probably would have died from that. But that's just a wild guess at this point. It is a, campy, action movie or whatever. He's swollen, his eyes closed. 1
Didn't we
minute,
just watch
30
Die
minutes
Hard 2
later.
where Bruce Willis was blown out of an airplane? Dude,
Yeah.
this is action movies. This is
When you
from
say
the
it like
beginning
that,
of
it kind
time.
of ruins my entire perspective. So I'm just going to sit here and shut the fuck up.
From the
it
beginning
was
of time, bro.
I told you I was going to bring some good. I did.
Oh,
bring
you
the
can't
good at
shoot through the
beginning.
suitcase. You know what I mean? That's always been the way with action movies. It's just now we're
Well, not
old
all
and
of them.
cynical.
Not
And we
all
know
of them.
about ballistics. Now we're picking things apart.
No, because there are some where they'll have.
I don't
let's
have
take a
I don't have a leg
Bond.
to stand on.
We'll take a Bond movie, right? So at least with say most of the Bonds, right? They're shooting at the car. Okay, he's got bulletproof glass. Maybe the doors are. They're shooting at a what is that? Was that a Bronco or a thin-skinned Bronco with automatic weapons, and all you see is sparks and they probably shot 1,000
Isn't that
rounds.
every movie? What if the main characters don't get shot? That's every movie, dude.
Yeah, he gets
John
a
Wick
fish
has been
hook.
shot at point blank range.
But
I'm wearing
I
a
brought it up with
jacket
John
that's
Wick.
bulletproof. Okay, you got shot with a shotgun. Come on, bro. No, we can't.
I beat up John
We
Wick.
can't
on
do
it.
this
So it
here
wasn't
now.
Leave it to Nick to bring it back down to reality. Now I feel
didn't
shitty about my
parse it.
review.
I didn't say, well, John Wick is, that one's okay, but this one's different. I did the same. So
Yeah,
I think
they're
they
all
they go above and beyond with that, and it's come on, guys.
Suspend
The
reality.
movie already sucks.
You gotta
just
suspend
make
reality.
it suck less.
Because
See,
you
guys,
could go
what-
you all have
What the
hearing loss.
audience doesn't realize is this is how Nick got me to watch Avatar 2 back in the day.
And
I just gotta know.
put that on me.
I gotta know. And then he was like, "Hey, man, we should go watch Fast and Furious. What number are we on? 11
Okay.
or 10?
I will.
You enjoyed
You
it.
just got to suspend reality." And I did. And I actually love that film. But
I did fall.
Every now
Well, I
and
didn't
then,
fall for that
man.
okie doke, but I did say I would watch it, and I watched it. And I will admit it was the best one that I had ever seen, but I think I've only seen 2, including that one, because I refuse. Yeah,
All
they're
right.
just horrible.
Well, hey, and like I said, that's why we do this, man. We all have our opinions. Let us know what y'all think. If y'all haven't seen Wrecking Crew, check it out. It's playing on Amazon Prime. Came out yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It'll be yesterday by the time this is on the air. But it came out on the 28th. I enjoyed it. So if you just let us know, and notifications, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Do it.
Or don't.
And let us
see
know
it.
what you guys thought.
Or don't see it.
Well, let's talk about
Options.
recommendations.
Yeah. Go. All right. Who wants to start with the recommendation?
I
'Cause
recommend
they're
you
probably
don't
not gonna
see
like my
it.
recommendation either.
I recommend you don't see that movie. That's the only one I got. Sorry, guys.
Well, then you know what? All right, then I'm gonna start. I want to start with recommendations this time.
Please.
And a lot of time, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of times, my recommendations just come from surfing. I'm like, oh, you know what? Why not watch this? And I'm gonna start this off by saying, Kevin Hart, you love him or you hate him. I think at a certain point, people kind of maybe get a little bit tired of his type of comedy, but Man from Toronto, playing on Netflix with him and Woody Harrelson. It was an enjoyable movie for me, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Basically, it's one of those big cases of mistaken identity. Woody Harrelson plays this interrogator slash torture, person that gets answers out of people, and then of course Kevin Hart shows up at the wrong place, and ends up they mistaking him for the Man from Toronto, and it kind of goes through the movie that way, and they kind of team up where they have to work together to get to the bottom of who's doing what. Ellen Barkin's in the movie. It was a fun movie to watch for me. Like I said, I enjoy the quips, the quick quips from Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson. I think honestly can play it opposite anybody. If I'm being honest,
I can agree.
He's gonna ground whoever he's playing it opposite of. I enjoyed them both in this movie. I thought it was fun. And like I said, if you want a good movie that's kind of just lighthearted kind of thing, but some action and all that good stuff, some like your buddy cop movie, so to speak. Man from Toronto, Netflix. I enjoyed that movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
When that
love
one come out?
Haley Kuko. Yeah, I think 2021.
So I have
Really?
a question for you, man.
Go
So
for it.
like I've only seen Kevin Hart in stuff like Ride Along 2, like Night School, stuff like that, right?
Right.
Kevin Hart strikes me as like an Eddie Murphy. Whereas, and I say this, that Eddie Murphy was a rock star when he did when Hollywood took the fucking gave him an R-rated film to be in. And you
Hmm.
got to see Eddie Murphy shine in all of his comedic glory. Like whether it's Beverly Hills Cop, whether it's fucking Coming to America, like you just let him loose, man, to do his thing in his style, just like Richard Pryor or George Carlin or any of those other classic comedians from back in the day. Do you think that Kevin Hart suffers from the same thing where I feel like I look at his PG-13 like filmography or even Jumanji and I'm just like, that's good, man, but I'd really like to see like Kevin Hart fucking like unleashed and fucking letting him just do his thing with full vulgarity if he needed to in order to
Well,
stress like his comedic chops.
right, now I will say this. Kevin, believe it or not, Kevin Hart does have some range. I don't know if you've seen the show True Story when he acted in with Wesley Snipes. It's like
I have
a
not watched
short
that yet.
series, very good.
Yep.
Was
True
that the
Story.
one?
If you haven't seen it,
Were they like
Wesley
brothers
Snipes
in
plays
that
his
one?
brother.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was,
Yeah,
and Wesley was great in that one.
right.
Phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
True Story. Check it out.
yeah. That was
Um,
a good one.
but this is kind of why I believe the reason why comedians have that 15 minutes, because once you're out there and this is the type of comedy you do, it gets old, right? Because how many different ways can I be Kevin Hart, right? So that's what I'm saying. You love him or you hate him. Like if you're not a fan of his comedy, you're not going to become a fan of his comedy. I think he kind of lets loose with his stand up because he still does stand up, and I find his
Hmm.
stand up funny. But like with the movies, how serious can you take a dude that's like 5'2"? Like it's not too much he can do with
Yeah.
that other than be the comic relief to the straight guy. Like you can't really take him seriously in those
Well,
types of roles. But I feel
I
like
don't
he's
know.
serviceable. Like I thought he was really good in this. I didn't. I'll be honest. I haven't seen a lot of Kevin Hart movies. If I'm being honest, like I know like Central Intelligence, I've seen that, and like Ride Along. I think I saw the first one, like Night School, stuff like that. So I kind of get. Who Kevin Hart is. Like he's like, they always make jokes about his height. He gives the quick, like disses and hitting and all that little sass. And that's who he
Yeah.
is. Like with Eddie Murphy, come on. I mean, Eddie Murphy's a goat. He
Right, but
does
I look at
anything
those guys,
from
and I
dirty
just
comedy
can't help
to
but like if you look at Eddie Murphy or even Richard Pryor, and you go back to like their like legendary fucking like hardcore days, like and I always go
Raw,
back to Murphy because Murphy
Harlem
fucking started
Nights.
out doing like like I said, Beverly Hills Cop, and then fucking Coming to America. Like he hit with some zingers, man, and they did not fucking like I'm gonna say this the wrong way, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Like they didn't neuter his comedic style; they just let him breathe and do his thing. And then down the road, as he's getting older, he starts doing like Pluto Nash and fucking like Doctor Doolittle and stuff like. And some people could argue that Doctor Doolittle was a success for him, which I agree from box office receipts. But it's not like as amazing as Eddie Murphy was back in his R-rated days. And I often wonder if Kevin Hart, if they had like cut him loose and let him truly be like his R-rated version self, if that true comedy would shine through a lot stronger than it does now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is Kevin Hart really R-rated? Like, I don't know that he would be the same as Eddie Murphy, right? I think Kevin Hart is really just PG type comedy, really.
Okay.
And I think that is him being him because he's like I said, it's the same way in every movie.
Yeah.
But like with Eddie Murphy was like, and this is what happens when the cash starts rolling and you start doing Pluto Nash and Doctor Doolittle and Shrek and all that stuff because that's where the money comes in. I
Hey
mean,
man,
let's be real.
Shrek's a masterpiece. I mean, come on.
Beverly Hills Cop, he probably made 50 grand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't making
True.
money in the 80s making R-rated comedies. You weren't.
Well,
Even though
I
he was
think,
a
but
big
I think
name.
that's because too. It's early in his career, right? So if you had put that later in his career, I guaranteed he would have made the money. But he wasn't as big, you know what I mean, as
Well, yeah, I
he
mean,
was in
obviously
the
when
other
you're
ones.
starting out,
So,
but
but I would
R-rated
say,
comedies weren't, like they don't really make the money. That's why, like, you find out now, like, oh wow, this is the first R-rated comedy. Like, I think American Pie was like the first like high-rated R-rated comedy in of all time, and this is like going back
all right,
20 years. So like you just don't like you have a specific audience, right? When you're talking about R-rated films, that's why they try to get that PG-13 because you get a wider audience. So they
Sure.
kind of want to stay in that realm. But the R-rated movies for people like us, we love them, but for the grand scheme of making the money, it's got to be PG. It's got to be PG-13. You gotta have to tone it down a little bit if you really
All
want to
right.
hit that
Well, yeah,
market.
for the audience, yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, I mean,
But
to get
yeah,
more
but
people.
like I said, I
That's
enjoyed
easy.
Man from Toronto. I feel like you guys want a nice little fun movie. To me, I thought it was pretty good. Playing on
I hadn't even
Netflix.
heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
Woody
just I
Harrelson,
was
man.
just like going through. I'm like, oh wow, okay, I haven't seen this one, and
Yeah,
I actually
Woody's
enjoyed
money.
it. Yeah, Woody Harrelson is just Woody Harrelson, bro. That dude is just. I mean, he's one underappreciated. I think, in my opinion, one of those unappreciated actors that we're gonna miss when he's done.
Oh, dude. Still watch Cheers to this day. All right, so I guess it's up to me now. Recommendation for the week. All right, I dug into my physical media repertoire, and here
Oh
I
my god,
go. Hologram cover. Way the gun.
give the god.
All right,
Oh,
so for those of you guys who have not seen this film, Ryan Felipe and Benicio del Toro in their younger days, pretty much the end of the '90s, came out and they did this mobster kind of film, and the opening 10 minutes is cinematic masterpiece. If you guys have never seen the intro of this film, highly recommend it. Even if you don't watch the rest of it, the first 10 minutes is just like fucking flawless. I'm telling you,
Okay.
don't watch it in front of your parents. There's going to be some awkward language. You'll never look at Sarah Silverman the same way. And it's just fantastic. All right. So the rest of the film kicks off with these two kind of like down on their luck, kind of scumbags. They stumble across Juliette Lewis, who's playing this pregnant lady who is kind of I don't know. She's hooked up with the wrong type of people, like a mobster type. Scott Conn, or I'm not Scott Conn, James Conn, Scott's dad, plays like the enforcer slash fixer of this mobster who's tasked with getting this girl back. And it basically ends with a Wild Bunch esque shootout. And if you guys have never seen the Wild Bunch, stop listening to whatever the fuck I've got to say and go watch that. It's a 1969 Sam Peckinpah R-rated, bloody ass Western film that is just flawless. But this film is fantastic. Can't stress it enough. If you like Quentin Tarantino kind of type films like Reservoir Dogs, True Romance, this is that kind of vibe. It's got very edgy dialogue. It works really well. And Benicio del Toro and Ryan Felipe really bounce off each other very, very well. And James Caan has a great place in this film. His acting is phenomenal, and you just leave the film like, man, it's a nice fucked up ending, as well as I can describe it. But I can't stress it enough, man. Go ahead and check it out. You got to rent it, spend the $5. It's worth it. Way of the gun. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I think it's playing on Tubi.
Is it on Tubi? Oh,
Yeah,
fuck me.
because only the digital media demigod has it on digit. So
I do, man. Because you know what? You can't edit the fucking film when I own it.
that's right.
very true.
All right, Scorched. What you got for us, man?
Dude,
Burn it up.
I got nothing, man. My recommendation is don't watch Wreck.
Pull something out of here, man. There's something in there from the '80s. I know it. It's in
Oh.
there.
Yeah.
Come on, Short
That's
Circuit.
easy. I was gonna say Weird Science. Very close.
Weird science.
Because of
Absolutely.
Chet.
Oh my
The
god.
Chet thing stuck, and I'm like,
Robert
Chet,
young Robert Downey Jr.
dude. But who is Chet?
Kelly LeBrock.
Bill Paxton.
Bill
Oh,
Paxton, man.
incomparable.
Gosh, you can't like he's one of those
Rest in
actors
peace,
you
Bill.
just can't beat. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, two brothers. Well, technically, it was three. Were they best friends? They were best friends.
Best friends.
Yeah. The brothers were. Well, Bill Paxton was the older brother of one of the best friends.
Wyatt.
Yeah, but essentially, they decided they wanted to make a girlfriend, and they used science in the house, like you can't do. But this was one of those campy, good '80s type things where they created a woman, which ended up being Kelly LeBrock, in her prime, and it was a great movie. There's motorcycle gang villains. There's his brother gets turned into a giant turd. I mean, they get a car, they get all the attention they want because she's got powers, and they become popular. Great movie. Just go check it out, man. Check it out. And if you don't check that one, go see Gotcha. That's another '80s flick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a spy one.
I take back all the shit I talked about Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Dude, I like the part where he goes to the black club. Hey man, let me get up.
Oh, dude, that was hilarious. He did a good job of that. He kind of reminds. Well, flip it around. What's his name? Iron Man,
Michael.
Tony Stark,
Robert Downey Jr.
Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. It was kind of a. If you guys have seen that, there's
Without
a little bit of that.
blackface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just hilarious though how he does that, man. That was a good skit.
Yeah. Weird
yeah.
science. Love it. I love that one. Yep. Good one. See, I knew
Wow,
it was up there, bro.
we
Oh, if you
went
asked
full
me to
circle,
pull one
man.
out from the
We went from
80s.
like action movies to weird science.
Yeah, that's what
You
happens,
said
bro.
pull
This
one
is
out of my
what
head.
you don't know what you're gonna get here. It's what we do at Beers of War. All right, we keep it real. All right.
I could have said white men don't jump. They
Hey,
can
Woody
jump.
Harrelson wasn't
But
sniped.
jump.
but Woody
Another one,
Harrelson,
Woody
man,
Harrelson works with everybody.
that
That's
still
why,
works.
yeah, white man. Can't
Rosie
jump.
Perez. I mean, come
Great
on.
movie. And Wesley Snipes. We brought him up.
We're not
So,
taking the remake either.
I'm going back. Look, I'm going to my car.
When I come back, you dare me.
Everybody. God, I love that.
Oh
movie. That was
man!
a
All
great movie.
right, all right. Hey man, any alibis? Anything you want to say to the people out there?
No, thanks for hanging in there with us. This was fun, like it always is, at least for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we like going back and forth, man. Like I said, let us know what you guys think, man. Join us. We love to interact with you guys. But with that being said, man, that's all I got. Thick Nick Fury out here. Till next time.
Scorched earth, out of here, guys.
Bad Broken Rainbow out here. Be good to each other, guys.
Dude, didn't
So,
she create
think-
like a CCP missile, or no, a USSR missile in like the